Are you thinking of living in Charleston and want to know what the pros and cons are? Well, you're in luck, because in this video, we're going to talk about the top 10 pros and cons of living in Charleston. And you're going to want to stick around until the end, because the last con is a little bit of a twist. We're going to share that with you, and we're going to get into the video right now. Hey, if you're new to the channel and you want to know everything there is about eating, sleeping, working, playing, the good and the bad of living in Charleston, South Carolina, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so that you can be the first to know about what's going on in Charleston. My name's Kristen Garcia, and every single day we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you who want to make their move to Charleston, and we absolutely love it. Now, whether you're moving in 2 weeks or 2 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'd be happy to help you make a smooth move to Charleston, South Carolina. Now we're gonna get into the first pro of living in Charleston, and that is affordability. The median home price in Charleston ranges from $300,000 in Goose Creek to $400,000 in West Ashley or Somerville. Now, other areas do have higher priced homes depending on how close you are to the beach, but the average of $300,000 to $400,000 compared to the national median of $430,000 is a lot more affordable, especially when you consider our second pro, and that is the beach. Charleston is right on the coast, and depending on which area you're in, the beach can be just a quick drive away. So if you like boating, fishing, or hanging out by the water, this is the place for you. And I gotta tell you, this is actually my favorite part of living here. I happen to live 7 minutes away from the beach, and one of my favorite things to do is go to the beach after a long work week and bring some snacks and some friends and just hanging out. You can also bring your bikes, bring your dogs, go surfing, basically do whatever your heart desires. And you can do this for about 7 months out of the year, because that brings me to my next pro, and that is the weather. The weather is pretty warm throughout the year. It ranges from 88 to 74 in the summer and 61 to 43 in the winter. That means you can spend lots of time outside in the sun without worrying about bringing an umbrella or bringing a coat. It also means you can do your favorite activities year-round. And this is actually our next pro, all the activities in Charleston. And no matter what you're into, there are tons to do here. So let's start with outdoor activities. There are plenty of public county parks to explore in your neck of the woods. These parks have nice fishing spots, dog parks, water parks, and playgrounds. Some of them even have bikes, paddle boats, and kayaks that you can rent. And there are plenty of trails where you can get a glimpse of local wildlife, such as deer, crabs, birds, and alligators. And if you're not fond of alligators, don't worry, they keep to themselves. Anyway, aside from the parks, you can join local meetup groups for your favorite activities. These can include running, cycling, biking, and even beach yoga, among other things. Now, another fun thing is to explore the various bars, restaurants, and live entertainment. There's tons of live music ranging from folk and country to hip-hop, electronic, and even classical. Whatever your taste in music, you'll find it here. Some of my favorite places include the Royal American, the Poor House, and the Common House. And aside from the regular entertainment, there are always fun special events happening year-round, so keep an eye out for those. Now, the next pro is all the great food you'll find throughout Charleston. Charleston is known for their fresh, local seafood, which you'll find at places like Hyman's and Charleston Crab House. However, if you're like me and seafood isn't really your thing, don't fret, because there are a multitude of great food spots. For example, if you're vegan or health conscious, there are places like Hurriali downtown and Dellsville in West Ashley. Or if you're looking for authentic Southern cooking, there's Page's Okra Grill here in Mount Pleasant and Poogan's Porch downtown. Now, that wraps up the pros. Let's move on to the cons. By the way, if you're enjoying the video, hit the like button down below. Now, the first con is the lack of public transportation. There are a few bus routes and even a few bike lanes, but for the most part, you're gonna need a car. The commute between different parts of town are around 15 to 20 minutes. That involves going over bridges, and trust me, you don't wanna do that walking or using a bike. And the second con we're gonna talk about is climate. And I'll be honest, it's pretty warm and humid here. In the summer, the humidity makes it feel warmer than it actually is, so you're gonna get a little sweaty. If you're relocating from places in the north, like New York, New Jersey, Ohio, or Pennsylvania, just know that it gets warm, and we don't have a full-blown winter. However, I do have friends from those places, and they do not miss those frigid winters. The next con is actually more about the weather. We do have tropical storms in the summer, and even the occasional hurricane. And when those come through, there may be the risk of some fallen trees or some debris. So watch out for that and make sure to secure any outdoor items. And worst case scenario, there will be plenty of advance notice if you do need to evacuate for a hurricane. What's more common though is the flooding due to heavy rains. When that's the case, avoid low-lying areas like downtown. I've lived in Charleston my whole life, and I've never had an issue with anywhere else. Now with that out of the way, the next con is another consequence of our humid climate, and that is mosquitoes. I've lived here my whole life, and mosquitoes have always been an annoyance, especially in the summer. If you don't want to attract them, make sure to keep some bug spray handy. And if you're at a restaurant or a bar with outdoor seating, sometimes they carry bug spray for you to use. Otherwise, here's a pro tip, just keep some in your car. It makes it super convenient if you want to spend more time outside and not have mosquitoes ruin your plans. Now the last con is a bit of a twist, and that is the Southern charm. And no, I'm not talking about the TV show. I'm talking about the culture here in Charleston. It's a culture defined by kindness, politeness, and hospitality. Pretty much everywhere you go, people are saying yes sir, yes ma'am, and even, oh, bless your heart. Even just shopping in the grocery store, you'll encounter people asking how you're doing. You might be saying, how is this a con? Well, if you're not used to this kind of culture, and you're not used to striking up random conversations with strangers, then this may come as a bit of a culture shock. And because Southerners are polite and hospitable, they don't rush through conversations. So it can seem a little bit slow-paced if you're not used to that kind of thing. So that wraps up our list of the top 10 pros and cons of living in Charleston. Comment below which one was your favorite pro or con. And let me know if I missed anything. By the way, if you have any questions about living in Charleston, let us help you out. The only way we can do that though is if you reach out to us. Give us a call or send us a text anytime. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back with moving to the Charleston area. So click another video here to learn more about living in Charleston.